Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Best fucking sports podcast in the country.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guy. And we talking boxing, man. Boxing this segment. That's right, boxing, man. Boxing. Not just any kind of boxing. Championship boxing. Two heavyweight champions boxing. We talking about Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua type boxing. That's what we talking about, man. Listen. I know what I said on the previous podcast about it not happening too soon, but we didn't account for the fact that someone would actually say that you have a mandatory that you have to fight this guy before you fight for unification. That's crazy. Even Mike Tyson said that. That's what the hell? What's going on? Mandatories do not trump unification. Unification is number one. If it's a unification bout on the line, the mandatory has to wait. That's how it's always been. But all of a sudden, I don't know. The WBO told Anthony Joshua that he has to, on Monday, told him, listen, you're going to have to fight Alexander Plotkin. And, hey, listen, if you remember from one of the previous podcasts when we did our last boxing show, I told you it was two people that Hearn don't want to put Anthony Joshua up against. One is Deontay Wilder, and the second one was that Russian dude, Alexander Plotkin. Now, if you watched the AJ and Parker fight, there was two things. You were terribly disappointed, and number two, you seen an excellent fight on the undercard between two heavyweights as Alexander Plotkin flattened that guy, just destroyed David Price, just brutalized him. And I just think that, if you AJ, you don't want to see that guy right now. And then he don't have any belts and you just going to be fighting him with your belts on the line. I would have, if I'm Hearn, I'm saying, listen, let's just make the fight with Deontay Wilder as soon as possible. From the pressure show, we got to thank the Russian Alexander Plotkin for putting pressure on David Hearn, who wants to just milk as much fights and fight everybody around Deontay Wilder. We got to thank the WBO for putting pressure on them unintentionally to make this fight happen, DC. Because I know a lot of people always say there's no other fight that nobody wants to see but Deontay Wilder and Joshua. Don't try to make the guy jump you in the goddamn hoops. Just if you want him to fight over in Britain or wherever you want to fight, London, guess what? His gloves travel. He ain't scared to go over there and box you over there. So I mean, hopefully they can get this done soon.
I don't think Anthony Joshua wants it as bad. I think he wants to fight Wilder, but it's obvious that his camp is deterring them from it, and they're trying to take the Floyd Mayweather route, I guess, and fight the easiest fight. It's perplexing, and I'm kind of glad that they wanted to make him fight. I just wish it would have been a mandatory fight of Deontay Wilder, which I guess ultimately it can be, because if he takes that fight, then he won't have to fight. How you pronounce the guy's name? I always mess it up.
Alexander Plotkin.
The Russian guy.
Plotkin.
Gopkin. I'm probably still saying it wrong.
Close enough.
But yeah, he's a tough little fighter, man. That'd be an interesting fight either way. You got two guys that are kind of like brawlers in Deontay Wilder or Vopkin, and they would make a good fight with a guy like Anthony Joshua, who's kind of like a counterpuncher for the most part. I mean, he can do other stuff, but for the most part, he's a counterpuncher. So it'll be a very interesting fight. And this is funny that they're forcing him to do that, because we know his camp was probably going to try to avoid both of these guys.
They didn't want no part of that, man. Didn't want no part of that guy. I promise you that. They didn't want any part of that Alexander Plotkin, no doubt about it. But let's go to the report, and it's being reported here by BoxingScene.com.
But it's embarrassing, though, that he showed him up on his own fight, man. You're the primetime fighting. That guy had a way better fight than you, and you're the one everybody came out to see. Like, that's kind of embarrassing, in my opinion.
Most certainly it is. Let's go to some of the information on the article here. It says that according to Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn, the next fight will come against Wilder or the WBO mandatory challenge Alexander Plavakin. That guy's a double tongue snake, so don't listen to him. The World Boxing Association recently ordered Joshua to make a mandatory defense against Plavakin, who last month scored that brutal knockout of David Price. Joshua says the showdown with Wilder is the top priority for him. That's balderdash, or what Hearn would say, bullocks. It's bullocks. I want the fight. There's no doubt about it, said Anthony Joshua. I'm going through a situation where to get that fight, I want to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I've got my hands on 4 world titles in 21 fights, and he was very vocal about wanting to fight before I was because my objective was to accumulate every single one of the belts. Now I've done it. Wilder has my 100% attention. Now that sounds different than what he was saying before. I've waited for an offer, so we're about to make an offer to Wilder's team. A very good offer that should create a lot of interest. Hopefully that should stop a lot of his talking and whining, and he should step up to the plate and take the deal. Let me tell you something, AJ. Maybe you don't know this. Maybe you don't listen to
what you say?
Bullocks.
Bullets.
Bullocks.
Bullets. It sounds like BS to me, man.
That's what it is.
A wise person told me, when you're going through stuff like that, the person who was doing all the explaining
there's the one in trouble.
More than likely, their story is full of crap because
they're full of
everybody
bullets.
knows Wilder won this fight because Wilder probably would have fought the fight for free. And he talking about he'll stop his whining and complaining and accept the offer. This dude don't care what y'all paying. He want the belts. He finally unified them. So you danced around him
to unify the
belts. Get all the other belts come back to him. Yeah, because you was scared to fight him. You didn't want to fight him.
Let's see.
Let me get all these other belts first and get my skills together. Then I'll deal with this guy.
All right. Well, that's something we got to lay.
It sounds like nonsense to me, man.
We got to make
dancing
sure.
Around excuses.
We got to make sure now we'll keep close attention on this stuff because when you have these fight promoters, it's all kind of foolishness, and they have a window to get this fight done the next 30 days. The WBO issued them a statement. They ordering them to get the fight done. If they have to get that mandatory done, the unification done before the 30 days is up. So it gives us a time frame to see what's happening. Let's move on to other boxing news. Triple G, Golovkin, couldn't fight Canelo. Canelo suspended. He's suspended, so he's looking to fight again. Still, we covered a few people that Golovkin's looking to fight in his next bout, but of course it won't be in USA. The fight's been moved to StubHub now. And it's interesting because it was built up to be this big thing. Now, not so much. But now he's looking to fight these other guys, and the question remains: who will Triple G fight? Well, they're looking at Gary O'Sullivan, Spike O'Sullivan, who's a good fighter, 27-2, 19 knockouts. They're looking at him. They're looking at Sergey Drevajenko. 12-0, 10 knockouts. They're looking at Mexican Jamie Mungaya. He's 28-0. That'd be a nice fight to think about it, to be honest with you. They got Billy Joe Saunders. They're looking at 26-0 with 12 knockouts. Demetrius Andrade. I like that guy, 25. Yeah, I like him. He could be interesting, but I don't know if they're going to actually take that fight. But he's been calling Triple G out. So
it's a short-term fight, man. Short notice. This is basically a fill-in fight, like when you have an injury at camp and you want to carry it on. So they're probably going to pick a guy that's probably not super top tier. I mean, you wouldn't want to fight a top tier fight at short notice.
And that's also they're saying that recently, today, matter of fact, Vanese Metrosinian or whatever his name is, 36-3 and 1 with 20 out knockouts. They're saying he could be a potential component. Now he was a former Olympian, and he's from California. So that might be interesting to see what they're gonna do about that as well. Now, of course, they're moving the fight from Vegas. Now it's gonna be in California in the StubHub Center. Hey, we just have to keep eyes on it. Boy, this was really a big old mess here, to be honest with you. But anyway, there are other fights that we could pay attention to. Maybe now.
All that from bad meat.
From bad meat. So blame the bad meat.
Canelo should have been a vegetarian.
Well, there you go. And it takes pressure. It takes pressure. It kind of moves Triple G's fight out of the mainstream blurring up everybody's vision. Maybe we could pay attention to somebody that really deserve it. How about Terrance Crawford, everybody? Can we please give Terrance Crawford some love here? I mean, can we please give Terrance Crawford some love, man? Seriously, because with Triple G out the way, let's pay attention to Terrance Crawford. Terrance Crawford's always, he gives you excellent fights. He's a very interesting fighter. He fights orthodox and unorthodox. Right, he's versatile. He's very versatile. Excellent fighter. 32-0, 23 knockouts. Straight out of Omaha, Nebraska. Best thing they made since he the best thing since curly fries. That was also from Omaha.
Curly fries,
which is out of Omaha. So there we go. But anyway, so Horn, they're supposed to be fighting Horn here. The next up and coming fight here. I think, when is this fight supposed to be coming? Oh, June the 9th. And in the MGM in Las Vegas, he'll face off against Horn and Jeff Horn, who is a pretty damn good fighter. 18-0, one decision, 12 knockouts for the Australian. And they'll fight in the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And Terrance Crawford will defend his belts against young Horn. What's your thinking on this fight? It shouldn't even ask you that. He's gonna knock Horn out, man. This guy is just terrific, man. He's lightning in the bottle. Terrific fighter, excellent, worthwhile. He should be the big draw now that Money Mayweather's out the way. Terrance Crawford should be the next boxer that everybody's paying attention to. Is Terrance Crawford. DC, thoughts on this fight?
I mean, you basically answered it for me. What I'm gonna say to follow that up? But anytime this guy fights, man, it's worth watching. So I don't care who he fights. It's a fight worth seeing. He's a very entertaining fighter. Like you said, reminds me of Floyd Mayweather, your Roy Jones, Sugar Ray Leonard, this type of cloth. Very, very entertaining fighter every time he laces him up. So whoever he fights is the fight worth seeing. And he should be the big money guy moving forward. He probably will become the face of boxing at some point.
Very good. Well said, DC. And that's bringing us toward the end of our show. Thank y'all for joining us, for listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Appreciate you chiming in and taking the time to listen to us. We thank you for letting us be a part of your day. And if you enjoy the podcast, please feel free to go to www.patreon.com/the PRO Media Network and donate. Donate whatever you can, support the platform, help, a few bucks here or there. It help build a platform. Also you can go to our Facebook, Twitter pages, Instagram, YouTube, subscribe for more content, and every other thing, support the sponsor as well. So from me, Big Q, and DC, thank you for joining us on the Sports Coma tonight. Peace.
You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.